just call whatever you guys want to call yourselves. Just don't lose your edge and don't lose the personality and don't lose who you are, the essence of who you are. Because that's what got you here. Welcome to another episode from Takedowns to Breakdowns with A&P, and today we're here to talk about Eskimo Callboy. They are canceling themselves. Nobody's canceling them. They're doing it themselves. This story just hit my radar. It just hit my radar. So before the holidays, I'm going to read it here. I have it on my phone. Before the holidays, they posted a picture of themselves against the wall, sitting down, not standing. I think if they were standing, it would look like they were in front of a firing squad. So they're sitting down. They're kind of just chilling, waiting for the bus to arrive.
Yeah.
So
the cancel train.
Yeah, they're the cancel train. So they wrote that things for all. They said, while we continue to fiddle around in the studio because there's a record coming, we of course are also reading all the comments on social. Big mistake.
Big mistake.
Rule number one of being on social media is you don't read social media comments.
Or you don't read Twitter. Twitter.
Or Instagram posts or Facebook posts, whatever.
Twitter's not a real place.
Ignore it. Ignore it. Definitely not a real place. So then they said, thanks for all the support and encouragement, and thanks for the critical voices about our old lyrics too. They feel less good, but just as important. Therefore, some real talk for a moment. Now, first of all, what are those lyrics about?
Yeah, I want to...
I want some context here.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of diving into the past, because what's in the past is in the past, is what got you to where you are today, is part of that growth that you had. And I'm not a huge fan of debating what you said in a song in 1996 when the world was a different place.
And also you're a different person now.
Exactly. And removing the history of what got you to be where you are today does nobody any good. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Because this is like us starting to go down a path like, oh, if we don't like something in history because it kind of makes me feel uncomfortable, let's just remove it altogether. No, how are we going to learn from the mistakes of the past if we don't have the mistakes of the past there to remind us of those said mistakes? That's just my personal opinion. All right?
Yeah.
Now, going on. The internet doesn't forget. No, it's not that they don't forget. They just search for things to gripe about.
They have nothing better to do.
They have nothing better to do.
And they don't forgive.
Exactly. So, and the more you read the comments and the more voice you give to those said comments, the worse it becomes. It's a vicious cycle. You're feeding the trolls. Anyways, not even the lyrics we wouldn't write today. Okay, I guess they themselves are also not very happy about those lyrics. So,
fuck this. I hate it when like this happens. Like sometimes like a band will like condemn a song they made, and I've never heard the song before. But I want to listen to the song
just to see where they're coming from.
Just to see what's the.
Okay, but now they're taking these songs off of circulation, so
but you know for a fact like they're gonna be like re-uploaded.
Yeah, but on the dark webs.
On the archive.
All right, so we can live without fun and irony, but of course there are limits to that. We apologize to everyone we have discriminated or hurt with our lyrics. I find that hard to believe. If there's a band that's so much fun that don't take themselves seriously, that's all about the laws, is these guys.
If you take an Eskimo Callboy,
be offended by their stuff.
If you take one of their songs seriously, you're just stupid.
That's your opinion. Apparently not the opinion of the people online. Anyways, that's why we already are in the midst of taking these songs offline. Like I said earlier, this is serious shit. We are a tolerant and open-minded band and against any form of racism or exclusion. Our music should be as much fun for all of us as it is, or for all of you as it is for us. But of course, you can still think that we suck. Yeah, and those people, it doesn't matter if you remove the songs or not. They're always going to think that the band sucks, and they're always going to think the band is evil for whatever reason.
Also, they probably didn't even like your band to begin with. They were just, they wanted to, what can I get mad about today? They found it, and they're like, how old is this song? Oh,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's a song.
It's a song.
It's on iTunes. It's on iTunes. I can listen to it right now and get triggered.
Exactly.
So now it's time for Christmas. We treat ourselves to some proper holidays, and we'll use the time to think about our name, which means they're also going to change their name.
Fuck.
Now, let me put a disclaimer here. I have nothing but love for. I'm going to put the phone away. I have nothing but love for Eskimo Callboy.
Yeah, and if they look back on it and
they're not comfortable.
And they're not comfortable with and the lyrics represent who they're not now, like they're completely different people.
Or they were younger then and they wrote the lyrics in jest, but now they realize that while being in jest, it's still offensive and it's still mean and it's still rude. And if somebody brought that to their attention and they themselves feel like, wow, these lyrics and these songs don't represent us, this is not who we are, and we're not comfortable with having this image of us out there,
to stay out there,
I'm totally cool.
Exactly.
I'm totally cool. If this is something that it's driven by the band themselves and not doing this because you feel pressure to conform or pressure to do it, I'm cool.
The fact that they said people were telling them about this makes me think it's even that it's not that. I mean, it could be that, but if that was
maybe they forgot about those lyrics or forgot about, and now somebody brought up to their attention that hey dudes, this song is completely offside over here. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? You know? I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I want to give them the thought process of this is something that was driven by them not feeling comfortable with a period of time in their music or to a couple of songs, whatever the case might be, and they want to not have those songs taint who they are as artists today. And if that's the case, I'm totally fine with it. The part that I'm not okay with it is if this is something that's driven by what they hope or what they see as being perceived of them. If this is like somebody who wants to go on a diet to lose weight. I'm okay with somebody who wants to lose weight because they want to be healthy or they want to look, whatever the reasons you have for wanting to lose weight, that's on you.
Yeah.
But don't freaking do it to impress somebody else, or don't do, like, you see what I'm saying? I'm all for people doing something because they want to do it because it's
not for someone else,
not for somebody else. So I just want to put that out there.
But the name.
The name. We've talked about this off camera with the Eskimo thing. And I've said to you how long it's going to be before somebody tries to cancel the band because of the word Eskimo.
Yeah.
Now, the word Eskimo, once again, maybe this is my ignorance. I don't find the word itself insulting.
Same.
It's not like Washington Redskins or the Cleveland Indians.
Those two aren't cool to begin with. So
I don't know why anybody ever thought that was a great idea.
No, obviously it was. Listen, it was in the past. Different times. So you can see why it was done, but you could also see why it wasn't, taken care of in the new age.
Okay, fine. Right? I'm okay. I can live with what
you can see why it was acceptable back then, but now that it's not, why is it only taking this long to take it down?
You know what? The Redskins one, even though that perhaps is more offensive than the Cleveland Indians, I can understand that one better because it represents like warriors, like the way the logo looks like, they're warriors and whatever. The Cleveland Indians, the cartoon, it's really bad.
It's really bad.
I mean, it's really bad. Anyways, I understand. I think the Eskimo thing is more of a cultural appropriation.
There's also the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh,
that one hasn't.
That one hasn't changed yet.
That one hasn't changed yet, but I don't know. I wouldn't see that one as offensive.
No, but once again, it's cultural appropriation.
Maybe it's the logo, but the logo is not even that offensive. But then you're going to say cultural appropriation because, to me, Eskimo, whenever I think of the word, I don't think of like a bad...
No, for me, there's nothing negative associated with it.
With that. Maybe there is, maybe we're just ignorant, right? But...
Well, they could name themselves Chicago Tomahawks. Would that still be cultural appropriation? I guess it would be.
But Tomahawks, yeah.
I'm just saying, like...
But, so I don't see anything, racist or anything about it. Maybe they just think cultural appropriation, but I find that so stupid. A lot of cultural appropriation things, it goes down to the smallest of stuff. Because a lot of people think a lot of things are cultural appropriation. Like if a white person wears dreadlocks, it's cultural appropriation.
I don't agree with that view.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
To me, it's cultural assimilation.
Or appreciation.
Or appreciation, but more assimilation. I mean, when I see somebody dressed in Japanese garments, like Steven Seagal, for example, I don't see the guy as cultural appropriating the Japanese culture. No, he appreciates the culture. He's such a big fan of the culture that he immersed himself into that culture. So it's cultural appreciation. And we live in a world where his mother is Indian, I'm Portuguese. So between us, there's a lot of cultural assimilation. Because that's how the world is moving forward, is us assimilating each other's cultures, appreciating the differences that those cultures bring to the table, and then taking the elements that we feel comfortable with and make those elements part of our own culture. Because as we move forward, for example, this guy over here, he has a much different cultural background than I had. Mine was more geared towards my Portuguese side, because that's where I grew up. Your mother was more the Indian. Now your culture, so are you cultural appropriating my culture and your mother's culture? No, you're assimilating two cultures into your own in order to develop what's going to become your own culture, what defines your own culture. We live in a country like Canada where there's so many different people from so many different backgrounds Breakdowns that Canada itself doesn't really have a culture per se.
It's just a country made up of other cultures.
Of other people's cultures, and everybody kind of appreciates and assimilates it all into one melting pot. At the end of the day, we should all be happy that we are trying to bring everything into one pot in order to create one culture that's made up of everybody's uniqueness and everybody's cultures, because that's the only way you're going to appreciate everybody's differences.
Exactly.
The moment you start segregating those differences and saying, no, you cannot wear dreadlocks, or you cannot have a mohawk because there was a native tribe that had a mohawk, your culture appropriating that. The moment you start doing that, you're actually creating segregation. That's what you're doing. You're separating everybody based on their own genre, or on their own color of skin, or on their own background, or whatever. And that's actually a bad thing disguised as a good thing. Now, once again, if the band wants to change the name because they're not comfortable with the name of the band, I'm all for it. Whatever floats your boat. But I just really hope that this is coming from a positive place and not forced upon them.
It's coming from a personal place too. It's not coming from a place,
personal decision, not forced by
the internet.
By the internet, putting them in a situation where if we want to hit, because I don't think in Germany anybody is concerned, or in Europe anybody's concerned with Eskimo Callboy.
Exactly.
I think maybe now that they're looking at entering the North American market, are they more concerned?
Or Eurovision.
Or Europe? Is there more of a concern that you have a name, or perhaps you have a brand that could create the wrong kind of buzz? Is that what's happening here? I don't know.
I feel like this whole cancel stuff is more a North America thing. I don't see.
We're living here. We experience
I think
it here,
we experience. Yeah, but I feel like in Europe and so no one in Germany cares about the name. You know, they love the band. They don't care about the whole name thing. I don't think anyone gets offended over the name. I think it's
me. It's a matter of context. Okay. For example, the song "Indians" by Anthrax. Are we gonna cancel Anthrax? Are we gonna tell them they can no longer
play that
live? You know what I mean? What's next? If you go back and you watch some of the live videos of Anthrax playing that song, Joey Belladonna comes out with a hairpiece like he's a chief, and he's running around this. Like, are we going to remove all of that from existence? We're going to delete all of those videos because that's not correct? How are we going to teach the generations of the future about the mistakes of the past if we decide to erase that past?
Because then we're just going to keep making the mistakes.
We're going to keep making those mistakes. Because right now, that's where we're going with this. We cannot erase history. We can learn from it, and we can say that doesn't represent who we are today, but that is what's helping to shape us tomorrow. The moment you start to remove this stuff, you lose track of your identity, and you lose track of where you're going and who you are. For the sake of the band, and for the sake of everything that is holy and unholy, I really hope that they're doing this from the bottom of their hearts. Them personally feeling like, we want to do this because we don't see ourselves as this anymore.
Yeah.
Even maybe the name of the band. Maybe they feel like, while the name of the band was cool back when we started the band, we don't feel like it represents us anymore. And you want to do something. If that is the background behind this, they have 100% of my support. If that is not the reason why they're doing this, they're still going to have my support because I love those guys. But I feel like they're giving into a very slippery slope that eventually is going to determine what you do as an artist. Because every time you're going to do something, in the back of your mind, the next time you do a video like Pump It or Hypa Hypa, you're going to be thinking, does this push the envelope? Does this thing that we're going to do right now going to create a negative buzz? Is this cultural appropriation? Is this? Is this that? The moment as an artist you start to think about your art,
and you start second guessing,
yourself before you actually do what you want to do, you're not an artist anymore.
And it no longer becomes fun.
And it's not creative, because now you're putting all these boundaries on your creativity.
Soon everything will be the same. It will take one or two videos, and everything. You
lose the edge.
Yeah, you lose the edge, and you lose your creativity.
Yeah, and it's not good for anybody. It's honestly not good for anybody. I'll give you guys one quick thing, not that this really matters, but there's a funny story in terms of the Anthrax Indians. I have a friend of mine who's native Canadian, Jacob Richard Dave Fox, good friend of mine. We've been to concerts with him many times, and his girlfriend. And I remember the first time that I met him, we were watching Anthrax. We were actually watching Anthrax, the first time that we met. We knew each other online, but we met in person at an Anthrax show. And before Anthrax came on, he said to me, let me tell you a story, dude. I was watching Anthrax live with my girlfriend, and Indians came on. And he said, these white guys next to me were like fucking vibing to everything. And then when the song came on, they stopped singing. Like they knew the lyrics, but they stopped singing because they felt like if we sing this, it's going to be offensive to him. And he turned to them and said, "Guys, it's a song. Just fucking sing it. Don't worry about me being here because the song is not offensive to me." Do you know what I'm saying? Because the way you have to look at it, you have to look at context. If you look at the lyrics in the song Indians by Anthrax, it's actually a call to arms in order for us to do more for the people that were in this land before we came here and we took over. So it's not about putting them down as an ethnicity or as a group of people. It's actually to remind all of us of everything that they have lost and everything that the people who colonized North America put them through. It's all about the context. Don't look just at a word. Don't look just at a phrase. Look at the context in which that phrase and that word came about. Context is important, even though it doesn't exist on the internet today. I just want to finish on that note. And now you know what people are going to say? Just because you have a Native American friend, that you're not racist.
Exactly.
All right, fuck. You cannot win.
You can't win on the internet.
You can't win on the internet.
The internet, it's a different minefield.
Eskimo Callboys, we love you guys. Maybe name yourselves Callboy.
Or Callboy.
Eskimo Boy.
No,
Eskimo Callboy?
No? No. Because you know exactly why.
All right, so maybe not. Anyways, just call whatever you guys want to call yourselves. Just don't lose your edge and don't lose the personality and don't lose who you are, the essence of who you are. Because that's what got you here.
That's what got you here, as you guys, you know?
It's you guys, that authentic nature, the unfiltered that you have. That's it. That's it. And if you're never going to please everybody. Exactly. We love you from the bottom of our hearts. We're always going to listen to you guys, regardless of what you call yourselves. We love you. We support you. Keep doing what you're doing and do what feels right for you. And we will support whatever that decision will be.
Exactly.
Love you guys. See ya.